Welcome in, everyone, to Average Joe Sports Talk, our weekly college football review. This is the review of Eating Crow for myself, and Mr. Shannon's not here to eat the crow, so I guess I'm going to eat the majority of the crow myself here. We're going to hit on a couple of games that we hit on our preview show, maybe a few others, but we're going to lead off. Game of the week, without question, was Florida-Georgia. Coming into the game, I thought that Florida would win. I ain't going to front. I predicted on my show. That didn't happen. And, you know, we had one player suspended that he didn't even mention, didn't even talk about, and then we had another starting cornerback go down, Henderson, early in the game, first drive of the game, I do believe. And then, man, it was just, our run defense was there. I thought, you know, if they pounded Holyfield, that I was worried about that.
Yeah.
We pretty much held them down running. I'm going to be honest with you, I think from the first play of the game when we had the flea flicker wide open and we missed that wide open, Franks missed that throw, it's kind of downhill from there in my opinion. I mean, like execution wise. Yeah, Florida just didn't get it done, man. I mean, you know, not making no excuses, but I wish Mullen would actually announce, you know, if he's going to suspend somebody, not announcing it. And actually, the rumor was floating around that he was going to suspend a player, then he come back and said he didn't. He said everybody's healthy, everybody's playing.
Mm-hmm. I did see that.
Yeah, which was a lie. You know, I mean, that was just a flat out lie. And I found out Kadarius Toney, the reason he didn't touch the ball that much, he's actually in trouble too. So they took touches away from him, but let him play, which is huge. He's our number one playmaker offensively. I think, with the potential to play. But you know, with all that being said, Fromm took advantage of a depleted secondary, and that's good coaching on Georgia's part. I got to give them props.
Yeah.
I still don't think Georgia is a playoff team by no means. I think if they played Alabama tomorrow, they'd probably lose by 27, 24. I think Alabama beat them pretty handily. Their defense don't look good. They have zero pass rush. Frank seemed sniff any kind of pressure yesterday. He still couldn't execute. So that being said, Reggie, what did you see? Besides me going crazy.
If you've never watched a Florida game with Bo, it's an event. I'm telling you, it's a must see.
We would upload it, but we'd have to put all kind of warnings on it.
Yeah,
Especially yesterday.
The FCC, we could be all over.
yeah. Fromm came out. He played a better game than I thought he would. I was really looking for Florida's defense to. And they did it again. They did put some pressure on him at the beginning, but in the second half, he really came out and he just picked them apart, and you know he pretty much took over the game. And I was really surprised. I was looking for Georgia to put Fields in, but I think Fromm knew the pressure was on. If he screwed up, that change was going to happen. So he stepped it up and did what he had to do. But this is one game. Who knows what's going to happen the rest of the season. Florida had several chances to really get back in that game and take it over, and they just shot themselves in the foot, you know, time after time. You know, the fumble didn't help none at all, but the defense did keep Georgia out of the end zone, held them to 3 points, you know, which was good, but that puts too much pressure on your defense. But yeah, like you said, they just didn't execute like they should have on offense.
It cost us, man.
Yeah, they did.
I'm going to say something here that's about to make probably Bo, and I know Mike King's going to be upset, but a lot to build on. Florida is definitely headed in the right direction. I think Dan Mullins called a heck of a game.
I thought he best play calling we've had in years.
He did. They just didn't execute from the player standpoint.
Yeah. But I think that'll change over the years, in the upcoming years. Florida, I was very impressed with Florida's defense, especially on those two goal line stands.
Oh, yeah. That was
amazing. And to allow 3 points. And, you know, it kind of felt to me like Florida was about to take control of that game because, you know, when you're an offensive player and you see your defense stand up for 7 straight plays and allow 3 points.
Yeah.
From inside to one.
Inside the one. I mean, that was probably one of the more impressive goal line stands I've ever seen in my life. And you thought, okay, that's going to be the turning point of this game. And then they come back out and, Alabama fans will remember Steven Garcia. Golly. That's the kind of day that Jake Fromm had. He could not miss. Everything he did was right.
Mm-hmm.
And for Florida's pass rush to be effective, they've got to get them in obvious passing situations. Georgia did a good job of staying ahead of the chains.
Yep.
And, being
He's a
able
white kid, 18, murdered us.
Yeah.
This was
He had 4 catches in a row.
For 60 yards.
60
Yeah.
yards. That was those were his first 4 catches all game.
And then the second half, he'd slip in and out here and there.
Yeah.
That's frustrating, man. Florida took the lead second half. I mean, they come right out and took the lead. It was 14. Was it 14-13?
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
And then, but Franks. Franks is coming along from what he was from the butter teeth, penny loafing wearing pile of human trash from last year. He's a different player, but you can't fumble the ball inside your one.
No.
And then on his interception he threw that first, it was just like, bro, seriously, dude, what? I don't understand any logical explanation. Who are you throwing it to?
I think what happened, and this is just a theory, but when he, on that flea flicker, he overthrew it, and if you watch, all of the rest of the throws for the rest of the day were underthrown. I think that kind of got in his head, and especially that interception. That guy, the Georgia defender, undercut it, and it was a perfect pass. I think it got in his head, and I think he was affected by the overthrow.
The throw down the seam was one of the best throws of the year I've seen.
That was very impressive.
Kevin?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I was one of those individuals that was, Alabama and Auburn was off yesterday. I was enthralled in a wedding right in the middle of the freaking game. And I'm appreciative. God bless the couple that got married. And as they were going to the Unity Candle, and the pastor says, everybody pray. Everybody had their head bowed down except for me. I did have it bowed down, but I had my eyes. I had the little Google button going on the phone there with the get play-by-play update. I kept seeing. I thought, well, sooner or later, Florida's gonna catch the lead. Mm-hmm. But the last score I saw was 10-7. So it goes from 10-7 to I think 20-14. And I thought, well, Florida's still in this. So by the time the way, and it's but like you said, you talked about Holyfield don't need to get a lot of carries.
Yeah.
He got 20. But they only held him to 71 yards. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I saw the stats before I saw the game, the actual score, and I thought, well, maybe Florida pulled this out. And I saw where, and I got after the wedding, I got in the car to go to the reception and saw where they had scored the last touchdown to go 36-17. And I thought, well, just, and even the play-by-play announcers just said that, Florida, they just didn't execute. And but like I said, and I'll be honest with you, I was hesitant on Dan Mullen getting hired at Florida, but I got thinking about it. He did so well at Mississippi State. He was the best coach they've had. Mm-hmm. So once he gets a couple more years with these 4- and 5-star athletes at a place like Florida, and one thing, and I'll give credit, one thing that Dan Mullen's good for is developing quarterbacks, unlike his predecessor with the horse teeth. But I think giving him a couple more, plus 2, like 7 times inside the 5-yard line. I mean, that's
inside the 1.
Yeah, doesn't matter who that is. That's good.
That's impressive, yeah.
So,
so we're gonna move on from that one. I ate enough crow. What's funny is I hit on every game except that one, which is impressive. I want to move into this game. This is gonna be a rapid fire, just for comedy purposes.
Oh boy,
Clemson and Florida State. Reggie picked the upset in that one. I'm gonna be honest with you. After that first quarter,
I was feeling pretty good about it.
They were throwing some punches back and forth, and I was like, man, they play like this all game. This might be a little interesting game, but man, it seemed like sunshine caught fire. That defensive front could not be blocked all game. Even in that first quarter, I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. If Sunshine keeps developing like he is, and they keep running the football like they are, and that defensive front stays on par like it is, they're going to be a tough out. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are going to be a tough out. Yeah. Anything stick out to any of you in that game?
I turned it when Clemson was up, I don't know, 28-0. I think I just switched to another game. But I was feeling pretty good about my pick for a whole quarter.
Yeah, I love it.
Clemson is the clear-cut number 2 team.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
And I do want to give a shout out to Sunshine. I got an autographed picture from him.
Did you?
Yeah.
You sent it to Clemson?
Dax,
They sent it?
well,
Okay.
Dax, somebody he knows brought it over to me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty nice. So
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, he's going to be
Well,
playing on
and-
Sundays. So.
yeah, so I'm
Probably in
keeping
3
an eye-
years.
Yeah,
3 years removed from high school, he'll be one of those.
yeah.
What is he? 6'6"? I mean, he's about
Six-
Frank's height.
He's already NFL quarterback.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you
Size.
something. I don't know his number 23, I believe.
16.
No, the guy from
Oh.
FSU, that safety that hit so hard,
Oh,
had that clean shot yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, he let a pretty good lick.
Dude, I was like, bro, if he gets up from this, it was a targeting. Because, I mean, he straight buried it into his chin. I was like, man, if he gets up from this dude's tough, bro. He don't look, I mean, he don't look like he'd take a lick, but that dude got hit yesterday. Dude. I was like, wow. All right, we're going to move on from that bloodbath. Plenty more of that coming on. So now it's Willie Taggart with 4 L's.
Willie with 4
4
L's.
L's.
Right. Willie with 4 L's. Right. So moving on. Now here's a game. Here's a game that we all hit on that was, I mean, it was you want to talk about a old school, Southeastern Conference grinded out football game, was Mississippi State 28, Texas A&M 13. I mean, that was an old school.
Yeah.
That was your old.
You called it.
Yeah, that was one I called, man. I knew, and I said that Vegas is literally begging you to take Texas.
Mhm.
They're giving you the keys. Now here you go, take. You can have the house, you can have whatever. And I was like, too many people's gonna load up on that, man. And to win like they did, 28-13, it was physical. It was downhill running. There was no mystery. And actually, Fitzgerald actually threw the ball pretty decent, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say he had a pretty decent game. I was really impressed.
A few
with
good
him.
runs.
Yeah.
It wasn't your typical run with him.
Yeah, I didn't see, for some reason, A&M spying him, which to me,
Well, I
that's
don't know
just
how you wouldn't.
that's just a given. You spy, you have to spy Fitzgerald, and there were several times where coverage was good, but when he does that, when you go man, and you turn your back, he's just going.
He's gone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
Going forward with
Vegas got me on that one. I had Texas A&M. I was shocked. Not that Mississippi State's a bad team, but I just felt like A&M was a better team. A&M, I like where they're headed. And, I think they're going to only get better with Jimbo Fisher. A lot of respect for Jimbo Fisher. And especially when you put someone that good, who's that good of a recruiter, into a hotbed like Texas.
Oh, yeah.
With the money they got,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
facilities they got,
Yeah, it ain't going to be
nasty.
long.
I think he's a top 5 coach in the nation, man. He's
Yeah.
a great coach. Kev, what'd you see on that one?
Well, just like I got in last night to watch the second half.
You did catch some of that one, didn't you?
Yeah, and the first thing I thought in my mind, I was like, Bo was talking about that defensive line 3 or 4 days ago,
They're nasty.
and of course, Texas A&M they had a chance there in the fourth quarter, and they threw a pick in the end zone, and then Mississippi State takes it right behind the field and goes and makes it 28-13. Which at first I was like, well, I wonder if Jimbo Fisher's kind of wondering about what what's happened with the mess he left in Tallahassee. But still, you're in the SEC West because they have still got to play Auburn. Mm-hmm. They've got to play LSU and I think Arkansas. But I think they'll probably be able to pull some of those out. But like you said, in his first year, this year's a transition year. He's got a. I always thought A&M the last few years they played kind of soft on the lines. Yeah. So this is about making them tough year. Whether if we take 4, 5, 6, or 3 losses, how many it would take, we're going to be tough this year and build for the future. So
now, that Mississippi State, I said they're the most underrated defense in the nation.
You hit it. I mean,
and if you look, they hold A&M to 13.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alabama is maligned. I mean,
where's Alabama play them at home?
At home, we beat them 45. Are you talking about Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank goodness we got them in Tuscaloosa.
After
LSU, so
that'd be fun to watch if it was in Mississippi State.
Because win or lose, we're always banged up and beat up after play LSU. So We always struggle.
Is it
against
the
Mississippi
week right
State.
after?
Yeah,
Man,
very
that's
weak.
a tough little 1-2
Yeah.
punch right there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I mean, you'll know what the only thing that's going to save Alabama in that game is the weakness on their team is their secondary.
Yeah.
But their defensive front usually gets enough pressure and negates some of that. But I knew going in, man. I mean, who scored 20 something on Mississippi State this year? I mean, you had to look at their schedule.
Yeah.
We had 13. And
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Auburn
pretty
got
positive. I
9.
know Kansas State didn't.
Auburn didn't.
I know Auburn didn't. I mean, you look on there. I'd like to know who scored 20 on them.
I got it pulled up right here.
Yeah, see there.
LSU put 19 on, which that's not a whole lot, but
You see what I'm saying? They're nasty, dude. Whew.
actually that's nobody. That's the 19 points. That's Kentucky put 28 on them.
Kentucky.
How they did that, I'll never
Benny
know.
Snell had 4 rushing
Yeah.
touchdowns.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
So
So the high is 28, but still,
Yeah.
their average is probably
about 14, 15
Yeah.
points a game.
that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's real good. Big win for Moorhead, man. That's a huge win for him, dude.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about which one of you guys was watching it. The fifth down.
I watched it.
All right, Kentucky. I mean, another line where I said, Vegas is playing people. They're begging you to take Kentucky, and if they didn't get the fifth down, that game would have been. Well, no, it was a 7. It went down to 6.
Yeah.
So, it would have been a push. So, but yeah. So talk about.
I caught the end of that game, which was obviously the best part of it.
It's 15-14, by the way. Kentucky
Yeah,
won.
yeah. When I turned to that game, it was. I know when I left here it was 14-3 Missouri.
That's what
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like.
14-3. So I was sitting at home watching it, and I saw the score pop up on the bottom of the screen. So I was like, "See what's going on?" And it was like 8 seconds left, and Kentucky was driving, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, a lot has happened. Let's see what's going on." So Kentucky gets to like the 2 or 3 yard line. Throw a pass to the end zone as time expired. Missouri gets flagged for a pass interference, so Kentucky gets a free play with no time on the clock. My mindset is hand it to Snell, let him do his thing. Nope, they throw a pass to the tight end, and I think me and every Kentucky fan watching that game probably stopped breathing for a minute because I didn't know if he was going to catch
Like
it.
slow motion in there.
Yeah.
No!
And at first, it looked like he didn't have it, but he did. He held onto the ball, and that was ball game, just like that.
Where were they at in the field?
Did you say on the 3?
Yeah, they were like on the 2 or 3 yard line. I mean, I think they were on the 2. They were on the 2.
I hate to question the head coach, especially when it turns out good. But
Yeah.
Benny Snell,
Yeah,
that offensive line, I mean, that's your strength. But then again, it could have been the thinking of everybody probably thinks we're about to give it to
They're
Snell.
going to play action to him. You're
Well-
probably going to get 8-9 people.
Well,
It had to be a play action.
yeah, it was. And the thing is, with Benny Snell, he didn't get a lot of carries because supposedly he got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, so they kind of cut his touches back some, and so that's what the announcer said. I didn't see, but the end of that game. So
That's pretty risky move, Cotton.
it was that was pretty good. I mean, he was in the game and he was lined up in the back with the quarterback. I was like, okay, obvious handoff, 2 yards, take it and go. But nope.
Real quick shout out to Kentucky. They've won.
You got to.
You've
man.
got to figure out how to win close games, and they've done that.
They've done
Done that several times.
And that's a sign of good coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And players buying in.
That's a very good.
They've won some ugly games this year.
And that's. I mean, like. A lot of people are like, that's ugly football. They're winning though, man, and it's Kentucky and it's great.
They take 5 more just like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
And one thing I've always said about Mark Stoops is if Kentucky just let him do his job, let him coach, and just give him time, he's gonna turn that program around
The one
to
thing-
where they're respectable.
The one thing is they have changed their facilities up there.
Yeah.
They've upgraded everything. They put a boost of confidence in him, and like Reggie said, I think they've realized that. And I mean, it may not be the most beautiful thing, but at 7-1 this deep into the season, you beat Georgia, you're in. to the championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, stranger things has happened in football. So I mean, I'm kind of pulling for them at this point.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't like Georgia at all. I mean,
Because usually at this point in the season, Kentucky usually they usually just
they've already folded up shop.
yeah, they get their 6 wins and then that's it.
We're going to do a bowl.
yeah. 6
Now,
wins,
I
get a
kinda-
bowl, and that's it.
I started pulling for Kentucky. I've always liked them, even in basketball, but especially more now in football because I don't know. I didn't see it in the Georgia-Florida game, but so much of it that the fans for Georgia were going, "We want Bama." Well, we got to play LSU first, but I'm pulling for Kentucky, so that way they'll have to go to the.
They don't
Iraq.
want Bama. That with no pass rush, Tua would light them.
No, I'm just saying, just Georgia's season to end right there with the loss to Kentucky,
Oh, yeah.
and they'll have to go to the Gator Bowl.
Yeah. Back to the same stadium.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hit on one more and we're going to shut her down. There's another one. The Dirty White Boys from Stanford, 38. The Fighting Pirates. The Fighting Pirates, 41. Washington State.
Seems like one of us called that. Who was it?
It wasn't me. I picked Stanford.
I picked Stanford.
It was me too.
Well, I thought you picked.
I picked Stanford.
Okay.
Okay, I was like,
I think
somebody,
But you
somebody
don't
else
remember
picked
though, I said
Yeah.
I said that line is shaky. You know what I'm saying?
I felt pretty good about it.
You took the Fighting Pirates.
Yeah.
Stanford was favored too.
I picked Stanford 37-21. So I underestimated Mike Leach.
I thought the Dirty Whites would get it done, man. There's another shootout, which it's funny seeing Stanford play in a shootout. It's just
Yeah.
don't fit them. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what Washington State makes you do.
Yeah, you're going to have to. I'd like to see one of those teams like that just air raid come play down here, like play a Mississippi State defense or our defense.
If you'll remember the Oregon when they were putting up all those points, they played Auburn in that national championship game,
Yeah.
22-19.
Yeah.
I mean,
The same thing. I don't know if you remember this, like in 08 when Oklahoma had scored 60 in
Oh, that was short.
6 straight games,
Yep.
and their
31-14.
receiver said, after watching film on Florida, I don't say, well, we won't score 60 in 7 straight games. And then that third play of the game is when Major Wright completely depleted the guy who said that. That's who he hit. He hit that. That was one of the hardest hits I've ever seen in my life. He did that now. They'd throw him out of the season.
that was on the sideline. The
Yes.
pass down the sideline. Yeah, I remember that.
He would throw him out of the season, dude. I mean, that was.
Yeah, that would not fly today.
But now, we're going to shut this portion down. But before we do,
Oklahoma State.
oh yeah, Bedlam, baby. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oklahoma State was 38. Texas was 35. And the beautiful part about that was we did call that one. Now, we didn't cover the point spread. I mean, we covered the spread as far as the actual spread, but we all thought Bedlam by 10.
I said it'd be an 18-point game,
Yeah.
and it was a 17-point lead at halftime for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
But
you're
they,
right.
They got them back in.
Texas scored a touchdown late.
They
Or
would've been by 10.
otherwise, we would have nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we all had Oklahoma State.
Yeah, we did. Now, one other thing before we shut it down, we got some major news coming up about this weekend with our high school coverage. Something we're doing on the game. It's going to be like on a national level. So we're just giving a little teaser. You'll know a little bit more after we film tomorrow night. I think we're going to tell some information on it. This video drops today. It'll drop tomorrow, which you'll be watching it. It'll drop tomorrow. Tonight. So late tonight. Okay, by tomorrow you'll see this video. But tomorrow we're doing filming at the Gridiron in Gadsden live. We're going to actually have Coach Sessions in from Gadsden City, and Jamontez Woods, who had 301 yards and how many touchdowns?
3.
He's going to be featured as our Player of the Week. Also, Josh, tell them who else we're going to have.
We got the Gadsden City High School varsity cheerleaders, and they've got
competition coming up.
They got some competitions coming up. Really excited. They think they can, bring it home.
So
For those who don't know, cheerleading is a sport, and it's not just on Friday nights.
Yeah.
So
they work their butts off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
They work in the off season quite a bit. So
yeah, you talk to anybody that works in the medical field, you'll have just as many cheerleading injuries as football injuries.
Yeah.
Sorry. Our producer said you couldn't.
Welcome back, Reggie Davis.
Hey, anyways, we're about to shut this one
I
down.
just saw
Guys,
the producer was awake.
Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell for the notifications. This is Average Joe Sports Talk, college football review. Good night.